Uber was once Silicon Valley's golden child, a unicorn startup promising to revolutionize transportation. The company's sleek app and bold vision captured the imagination of millions, making it seem like the future of urban mobility had arrived. Investors poured in billions, and cities around the world watched as Uber cars became a fixture on their streets almost overnight. But beneath the hype, the company was plagued by a toxic culture and shocking misconduct. Behind closed doors, employees faced relentless pressure, and stories of inappropriate behavior began to surface, painting a very different picture from the one Uber projected to the public. In 2017, Uber received reports of sexual assault or misconduct in the US almost every 8 minutes. These weren't just isolated incidents. They revealed a pattern of neglect and a failure to protect both riders and drivers, shaking public trust in the company's promise of safety. This wasn't just a PR problem, it was a systemic failure. The issues ran deep, affecting hiring, management, and the very core of Uber's operations. The media, once enamored with Uber's rapid rise, began to notice the cracks. Privacy scandals, executive misbehavior, and a move fast and break things attitude that broke more than just rules. Investigative reports exposed a pattern of cover-ups and questionable decisions at the highest levels. Uber's aggressive tactics, once praised as bold, were exposed as reckless and harmful. The company's relentless pursuit of growth often came at the expense of ethics, safety, and even the law. The company's internal chaos and disregard for ethics became impossible to ignore. Whistleblowers stepped forward, and employees began to question the very values that had driven Uber's meteoric rise. By 2017, the narrative had flipped. Uber was no longer a disruptor, but a cautionary tale. The company's fall from grace was swift, and the world watched as its reputation unraveled. The world was finally seeing the flames behind the shiny app. What once seemed like unstoppable innovation now looked like a warning about unchecked ambition and corporate hubris, and the reckoning was just beginning. Uber's story had become a lesson for the entire tech industry, a reminder that disruption without responsibility can come at a devastating cost. The first major blow to Uber's reputation came with the explosive Delete Uber campaign, a social media movement that would shake the company to its core. In January 2017, as taxi drivers staged a strike at JFK Airport to protest President Trump's travel ban, Uber made a controversial move. The company turned off surge pricing, making it cheaper to hail an Uber while others stood in solidarity with immigrants. To many, it looked like Uber was taking advantage of a human rights protest for profit, and the backlash was immediate and fierce, spreading like wildfire across social media. In a matter of days, over 500,000 users deleted their accounts, sending a powerful message that customers expected more from the brands they supported. The hashtag #DeleteUber trended worldwide, uniting people from different backgrounds in outrage and transforming public anger into a direct hit on Uber's bottom line. CEO Travis Kalanick scrambled to contain the fallout, issuing statements and trying to reassure the public, but the damage was already done, and trust was shattered. The incident exposed a deep disconnect between Uber and the communities it claimed to serve, leaving many to question the company's values and priorities. Almost overnight, Uber's image shifted, from tech innovator to corporate villain, as headlines and protests painted the company in a harsh new light. The media seized on the unfolding drama, and Uber's fall from grace became front-page news around the world, fueling even more scrutiny. Suddenly, the sharks of investigative journalism were circling, eager to uncover what else might be lurking beneath the surface of Silicon Valley's most disruptive startup. Then came Susan Fowler's bombshell blog post. In February 2017, the former Uber engineer detailed rampant sexual harassment and discrimination at the company. Her story was meticulously documented and impossible to dismiss. Fowler's account went viral, sparking an internal investigation led by former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder. The fallout was swift. Over 20 employees were fired, and Uber's toxic culture was laid bare. Fowler's bravery inspired others to come forward, and journalists dug even deeper. Uber was now synonymous with workplace abuse and corporate rot. The company could no longer hide behind its tech. The reckoning was accelerating. Uber's troubles didn't stop there. As the company grew, so did the controversies swirling around it, casting a long shadow over its rapid rise. In March, the New York Times revealed Greyball, a secret tool Uber developed to evade law enforcement in cities where it operated illegally, allowing the company to sidestep regulations and avoid detection. This wasn't a bug, it was a feature, intentionally designed to break the law and outsmart authorities, showing just how far Uber was willing to go. The revelation triggered a federal investigation, confirming Uber's win-at-all-costs mentality and putting the company under intense public scrutiny. Meanwhile, a video surfaced of CEO Kalanick berating a driver, and stories of executive misconduct kept piling up, fueling outrage both inside and outside the company. Executives spied on critics, mishandled sensitive data, and even tried to discredit victims of assault, creating a culture of secrecy and intimidation. Each new headline painted Uber as a company spiraling out of control, with scandals dominating the news cycle week after week. The leadership's arrogance was on full display, as executives seemed unfazed by the mounting criticism and legal threats. The scandals were relentless and devastating, leaving employees demoralized and investors deeply concerned about the company's future. Uber's reputation was in freefall, with trust eroding and the company's very survival suddenly in question. Investigative journalism turned Uber's scandals into a full-blown crisis. Reporters connected the dots, exposing a pattern of corruption and abuse. The media's relentless coverage forced Uber's board and investors to act. In June 2017, after the damning Holder report, major investors demanded Kalanick's resignation. The founder was ousted, toppled not by a competitor, but by the weight of public and journalistic scrutiny. Uber's story became a warning for Silicon Valley. Growth without ethics leads to disaster. Even the mightiest unicorns can fall. For more stories of power and accountability, follow for our next deep dive.